Hello, so this is my plan of action. So I'm going to talk about my reflection of myself, then my reflection of the system, so my community, and then also my plan of action. So my reflection of self, these answers come from my code of papers, my code of ethics paper, and then also just from the discussion board posts and all that other stuff. So the factors that I use to help my leadership approach is my influences from my family, coaches, teachers, just anyone that was a role model to me growing up. Also, my core values I definitely imply into my leadership approach now since this class has started. I know this is not anything, but I think this is a factor. The looks of athletes' faces when they accomplish something that they've been trying to go after for a while it's very heartwarming to me. And then also a goal path theory. I also use this to help me decide of how to coach a certain athlete in a particular way or not over another athlete, because sometimes different athletes need different things. So how can I be an authentic leader? Being myself. My old coach told me when he found out that I was going to be a coach, he said the number one thing to do is always be true to yourself and always be honest. Then respecting others, like I said, the golden rule, respecting others the way you want to be respected, listening to my athletes, and then genuinely care for others to achieve their goals. I really want my athletes to do well, not because it makes me look good, but I really want them to have that feeling that I would get when I would do well. And then always learning. I feel like a leader should always be wanting to learn new things and different skills and such, and always be in the mood for knowledge. So how are my actions and approach to leadership congruent or incongruent? They were not at the moment. At the beginning of this year, because I really didn't think about my core values until this class, but since then I really tried to imply them into my coaching. So my core values that I came up with was authenticity or authentic. So being honest, being original, being myself, the golden rule, respecting others the way I want to be respected, and then optimistic. So, and rather than looking at my mistakes as mistakes, I look at them as lessons. On here, like I said, I've mastered 2 of them, which is being authentic and the golden rule. But the third one I struggle with because sometimes I get down on myself and I don't look at mistakes as lessons. I look at them as mistakes. So I try to get on myself every day to stay positive and stay optimistic. So my community of interest is Washburn's men's and women's track and field program. What are our current existing boundaries within the organization? Right now, we actually, within track, not just Washburn, but honestly every track program, there are different events and you need to have different coaches for all those events. And so we have different practices, and so we don't really see each other in those during the week because we have different things going on. And then also we have GAs every 2 years, so that also kind of disrupts the athletes. So there's just kind of that boundary there that that happens. How does the energy and resources flow within the organization? Fairly well, but could be better because, like I said, since we have different events, different coaches, different practice times, different areas, we kind of keep to ourselves because we don't really get to see each other because we're traveling and all that stuff. Where's our nexus of interaction? Right now it's track meets. I would say a building, but we don't really have a building. So track meets is the main one because that's where we all come together as a team to compete, and that's where we see each other the most. If we sometimes will see each other during meetings, but they don't happen often. And then sometimes if our practices end up overlapping in the weight room, we'll see each other. But soon our indoor facility will be built next year, so that will be actually our nexus of interaction because we'll be able to have every practice under the same roof, so we'll see each other then. So how is voice given to diversity? Like I said, we control our own groups. So our head coach actually instills his trust in us and kind of gives us the reins on our own groups and how we want to recruit different people and how we want to coach our groups. So he allows us to do that. I still consult with him because I'm new, and yeah, so I have to consult with him. What symbiotic relationships currently exist within the organization? The athletic department is definitely one, because we are still within the athletic department, and sometimes I talk to other coaches and see what kind of recruiting they do. The admissions office, because if we are recruiting an athlete, they still need to get into the school, so we are in contact with them all the time. And then financial aid kind of goes along with admissions office and registrar's office and all that stuff. So we are always in contact with them. Is the organization within a period of equilibrium or disequilibrium? Right now, I feel like we're in disequilibrium, but we are very close to equilibrium. Like I said, not having a facility is very hard to keep people on the same page, and we don't see each other. So having that facility next year, I feel like is going to be a game changer. But I have been told we are actually better than we are in years past. We are a very new program, and this is our 4th year as a team. So we are learning every year. We're literally the baby of the entire athletic department. So we're still working out our kinks. So how is positive deviance perceived within the community? Like I said, we are newbies, so we are starting to see the positive deviance. I'm sorry, I have something in my eye. We are starting to see positive deviance within the program as it grows, and we figure out who we are and what we're working towards. And then now it's actually starting to reflect into the athletes, because they're starting to figure out, okay, this is the type of team that we want to be. Does social network of, what does social network of the organization look like? Nothing really crazy, because we kind of stay within our own group. So when we do communicate, we do have a texting chain, but we don't communicate often unless if it is just a track meet and we all have to be on the same schedule to get to the meet. But other than that, it's really nothing. So the elements of my micro, meso, and macro system are: the macro system is Washburn University, because we are all under Washburn University. The meso system is the athletic department, so we have the athletic director, the compliance officer that we talk to all the time, Jeanette, who is the assistant to the athletic director, and then just other sports teams. We see them every day because we're all in the same office. And then the microsystem is the track program, so the head coaches, the assistant coaches, and then the graduate assistants, which is me. So this is my plan of action. So how can I provide effective leadership within my community of interest? So I have been an athlete for 15 years of my life. I was a track athlete for 15 years, so I have gained a lot of knowledge about track. Not saying that I know everything, because I don't, but I use the knowledge that I gained throughout my years, and I try to apply it into my coaching skills and styles. And then also I talk about how I felt during certain events. So what I was feeling at the time, and this is how I dealt with things, and I try to encourage or imply that into my coaching skills. I do incorporate my core values since this class has started, and it has actually helped me, and it keeps me calm during practice times, because if I get scattered, practice gets scattered. So having the core values just kind of going back in my head of like, remember, okay, do this, do that, it does keep me calm. Going along with that, having good organization skills helps practice move very quickly and along smoothly. I set up boards throughout practices of what we're doing, of what certain event groups within my event group, because I do have little side groups in my event group, of what they're doing and what time they need to hit. It keeps everyone focused, and also kind of less questions, because everyone's always asking me a billion questions at once. So having that there, it does help. And then also I am the new coach, and I am the newest coach of Washburn Track and Field. So I've been asking a lot of questions, and I've been trying to use my resources as much as possible. So what are ways in which I can influence positivity? Most important thing, I think, is showing up to practice with a good attitude. My athletes really take from me a lot, and if I'm in a bad mood, they're in a bad mood. So I kind of reflect onto my athletes, and they kind of reflect back onto me. So yeah. And then showing stats about their progress throughout the year. So I have been keeping a log or journal of every athlete and every workout that we're doing, of like what they did during that day and the times that they hit compared to like the times that they hit now, and see and show them their progress throughout the year. What strategies will I utilize in the process? So the strategies that I will utilize to continue my leadership development is learning and researching. I feel like I always need to be learning new things and researching new things, because everything in the track world is always changing. Utilizing my resources. So within my community, I have a ton of resources, and then also just resources that I grew up with. I would like to also go to them a lot. And then I know this is not really a thing, but I think being a leader to encourage my athletes to push themselves, I think is a huge leadership development, because I'm still trying to figure out how to do that. It's been a struggle for me and a struggle for them, because sometimes they don't want to push themselves and they don't want to feel that pain. So trying to figure that one out. So my ecology of innovation. So like I said, the boundaries, we pretty much kind of stay within our own event group. We don't really cross over. We don't really see each other. So the flow of energy and resources is very blurred, because since I was a sprinter, that is what I coach. Since Derek is a thrower, that is what he coaches. So we don't cross. And I don't see the throwers. He doesn't see the sprinters, because he can't coach either one of them, and I can't coach the throwers either. So those boundaries are definitely there. Diversity. The coach, like I said, he lets us kind of have our own ways and coaching skills with our own group. He entrusts us with that. And then, but we do sometimes come together with different coaching styles and tips and help each other out. The nexus of interaction, like I said, is just track meets. When we get our new indoor facility, I feel like that will be better. The symbiotic relationship right now is, like I said, the athletic department is one of them. I think having that is helpful, because we can still actually also ask other coaches like their style of recruiting, because all recruiting is the same pretty much. Equilibrium, like I said, it's kind of scattered, just because we are literally scattered throughout the city of Topeka, and I feel like when we figure out our new home next year, I feel like it will be a little better. So leading with emergence, now this is within my group. So the disequilibrium conditions, since we do not have an indoor facility, it is very hard to have practice outside when it's like 22 degrees. So I always have to find different ways and different activities to equal the same caliber of as if we had practice outside on the real track, indoors on a treadmill. So that's kind of hard. Amplifying actions. The season is getting ready to start, so the intensity of practice is showing, and you can see the nerves of people's faces. Recombination, we are starting to have a little more meetings, and I also am starting to encourage athletes to work on what they need. And then stabilizing feedback. So like I said, I do have a journal to log and to show the athletes what the workouts that they were doing at the beginning of the year compared to now. And then we will really get the stabilizing feedback coming this Friday and Saturday, because we have our first meet. So those results that are going to be posted is basically what our stabilizing feedback will look like. Experimenting and novelty. So the differences in the end of group think, so different recruiting tactics and coaching skills that we can do within our community. The ubiquity of experiments and power laws. So Goldstein kind of talks about fluctuation. We don't really have fluctuation because if one of our coaches goes down, another coach can't really step in because we don't really know that event well. So that is kind of where we fall, because if the throws coach goes down and asks me to go help the throwers, I can't help because I don't know how to do that. Our hidden strengths of weak signals, improving a team structure. We do have a great team, but I think if we, like I said, if we had that hub where we all could be together, I feel like our team bonding and structure would be a little better. Leveraging experiments and novelties through intercohesive networks. So I kind of use this as an example of asking how the football team are able to come together with their different team because their different positions, because they have different positions within their football team. So I feel like if they can do it, we can do it, and how they did that. And then encouraging the frequency of experiments and novelty. So having more bonding activities and seeing if that can increase the team structure and improve results. So I feel like if the team gets to know each other better, then that means they can hold each other accountable and they're really racing for their team and within themselves. And I feel like it's a little better. So encouraging positive deviance. So like I said, team bonding, the dynamics of the team and how we work as a system. I feel like that would be good. Encouraging team to push each other and hold each other accountable, and then I think that letting the captains take over and how and what they want from their team. So I feel like if the captains kind of take charge and be like, this is what we want from our team, this will work. The types of workouts, what types of workout works and when to implement them into the schedule. So does this workout work for this time during the year, or should it be better during this year? Seeing how their bodies will react to the workout and also how they react towards each other. When we have a very hard workout, how their bodies is going to react, and are they all going to fall together as a team? Are they going to let one teammate fall? Or are they all going to come together and push through this hard workout? And then also the results and progress of what will happen from the workout and just the team bonding in general. So leading through smart networks, Goldstein talks about small world networks and 6 degrees of separation. So I really like this because I like 6 degrees of separation. Having to go through only a few people, getting the answer right away. Time is very important, and the less time we spent jumping through hoops, the better. And so making sure everyone is on the same page and brushed up on their knowledge of how our system works. So I think that within my community, I feel like everyone should kind of know a gist of how each other event works. So we're not always just asking questions, and we kind of know the answers to everything. So in conclusion, I feel like there are different ways to approach leadership. Also stay true to yourself. Also be patient and observant. Kind of see how the system works, what works for them, what works for you. Be helpful and be ready to tackle whatever is thrown your way. So I hope that you enjoyed my plan of action, and I will see you next time. Bye.